Welcome to the Josh Rackless Show, which might be called something different in the future because I'm trying to come up with a stage name for myself that's easier to spell and remember. But I don't want to let that delay me. I've always wanted to do like some kind of morning show, uh, maybe where I deliver the news to you, and so that's what I'm going to do. Even though it's 4:03 p.m. right now, I'm having a late start today, but tomorrow I'll start it in the morning. But I don't even want to let that delay me. We're just going to go through it, and you're getting the afternoon news now. So the plan for this particular show is that I'll be just checking out CNN, and I haven't even looked at it today. Actually, I've looked at it briefly because I've recorded a million takes of this trying to figure out how the computer's working. But in general, I haven't looked at the news yet, and I want to read it with you. It'll be like we're discovering it together, and hopefully, I'll give some witty commentary or very intelligent, insightful commentary. We'll see what happens. And then you can be watching this while you're making breakfast, or if I take the audio and use it as a podcast, you can be listening to this as you drive to work, and this could be your news. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll do different shows in the future. Or even after this, I'll record something about celebrity gossip, or maybe I'll do left wing versus right wing takes on the news, and it'll be very controversial. But in the meantime, we're just going to check out CNN. I live in Toronto, by the way, so that's my perspective from this, Toronto, Canada. And maybe I'll do a Toronto news thing if I want to zero in on that audience. And maybe you're somewhere else in the world and you're like wondering what's going on in Toronto. Like I can picture people in Iceland. For some reason, I always think about Iceland when I'm thinking of a faraway place that might be interested in. Well, actually, I think because I maybe listened to a show once where they were, or somehow I heard about like a newscast or a podcast in Iceland. I thought that'd be cool to listen to what's going on there, their local news, or hear about a little town there and hear what the local news is. We don't only have to listen to news that's about our particular place, right? But this is a general North American CNN take right now because I'm not even on. I think there's like an international version of CNN, but I just went to CNN.com, so I assume this is like the American version. Oh, I'm not floating here. Now I know there's a version. There's a setting on QuickTime where you can set it to float. Here it is. Okay, so now my face will remain here even when I'm going to the website. So we're just gonna explore this together, and this will be your little intro to the news. It'll be like like if you were reading the newspaper or the website, you'd be looking at these little things yourself. And I think what I've discovered when I was doing a few takes before here is that it's almost enough just to read one article and read through it and comment on that, and that's what a lot of websites do with Star Wars articles and stuff. So it might be too much for me to be going through all these articles. But it'll just be a brief overview of the news. It'll be fun. You'll love it because I'm very charming. And also, if you can hear the fan noise, it's that I need a new computer and the fan overheats when I try to screen record. But I don't want to let that stop me as well. I just want to start churning out content. And these will get better as we go along, or they'll be equally bad forever. We don't know. Okay, so the news at the top here, booing Trump doesn't mean what you think. I'll let you know that I haven't been reading the news for a few weeks. I was running in the Canadian election, and I was focused on doing some funny videos to promote myself, so you can check out my songs and my stand-up comedy that I did about the campaign on my YouTube. So I'm out of the loop, but I guess I heard, I don't know where I heard somewhere, that Trump was booed somewhere, and I'm like, what? So the news seems to say he was booed at a World Series game, and the World Series, which I didn't know was happening either, that's happening in Washington apparently, and so he was there, and I was just scanning this analysis, and he was saying, oh, I don't know. Here, I'll show you quick. First of all, CNN, and I didn't really realize this years ago, until after Trump was elected, and I started looking at all the news coverage of him. They are very biased. Like, it's all, we hate Trump, we hate Trump. So take everything here with a grain of salt, but this is just their analysis anyways. Obviously, there's some kind of breaking news here that they want to give us, but we'll come back to that. Why is there, I can't even, oh, that's an ad. All right. Oh my gosh. What, please, this is why people don't, there's no way to read this news without seeing that ad? Okay, so this guy was commenting on Trump being booed, and there was a lock him up chant, and this was celebrated on Twitter. So I'll mention that I've heard that Washington is very liberal. Everybody there hates Trump, and so there's a bias there. And then also Twitter is very liberal. Even the guy who invented Twitter and runs Twitter has admitted I think he's admitted that they censor a lot of conservative stuff, and so this isn't a representative sample of anything. But anyway, so this was celebrated on Twitter and by liberals nationwide. He got a taste of his own medicine. Now he knows how people really feel about him, And then he goes on to say that Trump rarely appears in public at anything other than his campaign rallies, so he's only hearing people cheer him, other than when his motorcade passes protesters. Uh, and then some Democrat here, Chris Coon, says, I have a hard time with the idea of a crowd on a globally televised sporting event chanting, lock him up about our president. I frankly think the office of the president deserves more respect, or deserves respect, even when the actions of our president at times don't. Okay, so he kind of walked back his defense of Trump there. Whether or not agree with Coons, and many liberals don't, the sentiment he's expressing was they're exploring, and then he explores it. So this is when I started going through this article on a earlier take of this, I realized, okay, I don't have time to go through all these articles one by one, but so we'll just read the end here. The point here is that getting into the mud with the pig rarely works. The pig enjoys it and you get muddy. I don't know. Okay, so basically Trump was booed, and I don't know what his point is. Okay, so what other articles are here? Thank you, Chris Cilia. Okay. Cilia, isn't that the name of like the little hairs on your skin? I think it is. It's just spelled differently. Okay, so the latest on the Trump impeachment inquiry. By the way, if you didn't know, they're trying to do an inquiry into impeaching Trump. I listen to the Ben Shapiro podcast a lot. He's a conservative Orthodox Jew podcaster. And I think he's been saying that this thing is kind of like political theater. They're doing it to get their base excited. And, oh no, stop this. And it's not really going to go anywhere, and they'll just sort of keep doing this until the election. So this is all fun. And they're always giving us news, the latest, what we're covering here. The House will vote on Thursday. Okay. Earlier today, Charles Kupperman defied a congressional subpoena. Oh, that's the other thing. Apparently, when you issue a subpoena, then the person who's been issued the subpoena has to contact a lawyer, and that takes time. And so the Democrats keep issuing these subpoenas, knowing that Trump's team will have to, delay and get a lawyer and stuff, and then the Democrats can go, oh look, I forget what the word is, stonewalling, or what's the interfering? There's a word for this. You can leave it in the comments below. But saying he's interfering with the investigation, and so this is all like part of the game. Catch up 4 developments today. I don't really care. I mean, I think this is the DOJ files. It's a lot of illegal mumbo jumbo that I guess if you want Trump impeached, you're going to read it because you're very excited about it. It's probably going to go nowhere. That's my take on it. All right, what else we got? Here, let's put myself on the bottom here. If you're listening to this as a podcast, you don't know what part of the screen I'm on, but it doesn't really matter. And I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if this will be good enough for podcast, I was going to say. Democratic Senator shuns lock him up. I think that's what we just read in that article. All right, so a lot of impeachment stuff. What do we got? Former North Carolina Senator Kay Hagan dead at 66. That is very sad, and that's not very old. Let's see. I'm sure. Let's see. She's wearing blue, but is she a Democrat? Oh, yeah, Democrat. See, in Canada, conservatives wear blue, but in the States, Democrats are blue. I don't know how they decided on these colors. They're heartbroken. How did she die? Maybe I'm not going to guess. We're grateful she worked to regain her strength these last few years after her illness. She had encephalitis and inflammation of the brain. This is all very sad. Well, I'm sad when anyone passes away. And especially people who devoted their lives to public service. All right, that's sad. Barr explains his role into the investigation into the origins of the Russian probe. There's just a lot of stuff about Russia. Remember, what was the Russian probe? Oh, they were investigating whether, Trump colluded with Russia, and that went on for 2 years, and then there was nothing. And so now they're investigating whether he was trying to get the Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden. So that'll probably be one of these articles. Biden says he asked Barack Obama not to endorse him. Sure he did. Let's see, because he's been talking a lot. I haven't even watched the debates, but I know there's been clips I heard on Ben Shapiro where he's always, I guess, isn't the idea that he's always sort of saying Barack Obama endorsed me. I can't be racist. I worked with Barack Obama. Let's see. I don't even know if I should be playing videos. Will that make me demonetized? So here, I won't even play this. You can go watch it yourself at CNN if you want. How long is this video so far? It's almost 10 minutes. I thought I was going to do 5-minute summaries of the news. So let's just look at other little things. I'll read you the headlines. Maybe that's the way we'll do the news. Analysis. John Kelly said something very damning about Donald Trump. See, that's called clickbait. Now I got to click on it to find out what he said. Doesn't really sound like news. It sounds like it's a slow news day today. Okay, so there was also, I've been hearing, I guess, I don't even know where I get my little clips of news. Maybe when I'm scrolling through Facebook and stuff. Um, so they killed ISIS leader on the weekend, and then I think there's a whole thing where people are like saying, is Obama, can he get credit for this, or how do we celebrate? Like how do we look at this compared to when Osama bin Laden was killed and Obama was president? So let's see. President Donald Trump announced Sunday that the world's number one terrorist leader is dead. ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi blew himself up when cornered by U.S. forces who conducted a daring 2-hour nighttime raid on his compound in northern Syria. Trump said, well, this sounds exciting. Last night was a great night for the United States and the world. A brutal killer, one who has caused so much hardship and death. You almost can't read a Trump quote without doing it in his voice, right? Like nobody talks like that. A brutal killer. What's my Trump voice? One who has caused so much hardship and death. I don't know what voice that is, but I should know. Trump. I've been listening to Trump impersonations for years now. Baghdadi has been violently been eliminated. Baghdadi's death marks the end of a years-long hunt to find one of the most wanted terrorists in the world and the man who declared a so-called Islamic caliphate. Yeah, okay. Well, you can go read that. You can read all about how the thing unfolded. See, I would have to do. Okay, sounds good. Ultimately, Baghdadi, who was also wearing a suicide vest, took refuge in a dead-end tunnel with 3 children. He reached the end of the tunnel as our dogs chased him down. He ignited his vest, killing himself and the 3 children. That's sad. His body was mutilated by the blast. The tunnel had caved in. Okay. Well, we could do a whole video about this article, and maybe that's what I should be doing, reading individual articles. But this is just your top summary. See if there's anything you should know. Live updates, photos and the videos will be released. Anti-anxiety med recalled due to risky foreign substance. That doesn't sound good. That makes me anxious to think about it. They thought they'd built a gender reveal device. It turned out to be a pipe bomb. What? Party goers thought they'd build. Oh, I see. That's where you do a little explosion and then like pink or purple comes out, or no, pink or blue. Wait, this is sad. Families had hoped to build a contraption for a fun gender reveal party, but instead it killed a grandmother. The family got together for what they thought was going to be a happy event with no intent for anyone to get hurt, says the county sheriff. Pamela Krymeyer was killed when a piece of shrapnel from the device struck her in the head. My God. That is very sad. Late Saturday afternoon, we received this. Okay, there's more news coming in. Okay. Gender reveal parties have grown in popularity in recent years, with expectant parents and guests gathering to learn the gender of unborn babies. I would love to have a baby. If anybody wants to have a baby with me, let me know. They can be as simple as cutting a cake or releasing balloons, but some events are more over the top. In Louisiana, an expectant father wedged a melon containing blue goo into alligator's jaws. Other celebrations have gone awry. One sparked a wildfire in Arizona, and one in Australia ended prematurely when a car outfitted to belch blue smoke erupted in flames, forcing the driver and guests to flee. Okay, so let's try not to kill anyone with our gender reveal parties. That sounds very sad. What do we got here? Godfather producer Robert Evans is dead. That is a movie. I feel like I've seen it, but maybe I haven't. I've seen clips of it or something. At 89? Okay, well, that's older than the senator, so that's, I guess, less sad, but still very sad. And that's still, 89's, how old is that? I think people should be living to like 120 now at least. And then if you can make it to there, maybe they'll come up with science that people will live even longer or forever. That's my plan. Hope science gets there fast for me and my loved ones. Cop mistakes son for intruder, shoots him. By that headline, I guess I'm guessing that he didn't kill him. And that sounds bad. Looks like it's a whole video. Big changes are coming to AT&T. Watch GOP lawmakers' reaction when Poppy Harlow calls him out for a tweet. So yeah, I guess CNN, a lot of this is clickbait, which is like, headlines that they don't tell you what it is, so you have to click on it to find out. Masterpiece found in a kitchen sells for over $26 million. I'm always fascinated with things like that, because I'm always like, oh my gosh, what if I find something cool at a garage sale or in my basement or if I had a basement. A medieval masterpiece found in French kitchen. How does this happen? I always wonder, how does something get into a kitchen? A lost 13th century masterpiece, just months after it was found hanging in a French. Oh, it's in France. Yeah, all this stuff is in Europe, right? An elderly French woman from the town of Compiègne had kept the rare artwork, which she thought was a Greek religious icon, in her kitchen. The unsuspecting owner did not know where the 10-inch by 8-inch painting had come from. It didn't take long. So, following its discovery in the summer, how was it discovered in the summer? Maybe the style of painting, the National Gallery's home. The painting had been hanging above a hot plate used for cooking food. All right, well, that's kind of cool. And that's why I want to go to Europe and just visit towns with old houses. And okay, opinion, what SNL got horribly wrong. See, I'm always tempted to... I got to look at that pregnancy one. Oh, is this about Saturday Night Live's portrayal of Donald Trump presidency has ranged from hilariously insightful downright disappointing. First, SNL slammed Trump supporters, painting them, collectively speaking, as complete buffoons. That depiction furthers the right's long-standing claim that the entertainment industry has contempt for conservatives. Well, it does. I'm not even really conservative, but I can see that. Second, SNL positions Trump as the responsible person who is the voice of reason, trying to rein in his supporters. Nothing could be further from the truth. Okay, so here's CNN. Biased. Okay, stop with the video. The sketch would just had some funny moments. Open with Alec as Trump at a rally in New Mexico. After a few jokes at Trump's expense, such as "Hello, New Mexico, by far my favorite Mexico," the show turned its comedic focus to mocking Trump's base. All right. SNL then, in a complete denial of reality, portrayed Trump as the responsible adult in the room. Okay, because SNL is supposed to be reality? But depicting Trump as the person urging restraint is even worse. This is a man who just this week tweeted that Republicans don't support him are human scum. Okay, so this is a big bashing Trump article, which everything is on CNN. Retired doctor. This looks fascinating. A retired doctor, 67, gives birth after getting pregnant naturally. See, this gives me hope that I can, have a baby with someone. So how does this work? A 67-year-old retired doctor has given birth in China, potentially making her the country's oldest new mother. The woman, surnamed Tian, gave birth to a girl where she had worked at a hospital where she had worked as a doctor before retiring. She fell pregnant naturally after using her medical knowledge to self-administer traditional Chinese fertility treatments. The baby was delivered by cesarean section. We were quite lucky given that the mother was in an advanced maternal age and had a variety of complications. Has she had kids before? Let's see. During the cesarean, we found out that Tian's ovaries were just like the ones of a 40-year-old woman. They hadn't shrunk like a 60-year-old's ovaries would have, which might explain how she got pregnant naturally. Okay, I know. Stop with the videos. Stop, please. God. Oh, my gosh. Ugh. Okay. Tian and her child were transferred to an intensive care unit. Tian's husband, a 68-year-old surnamed Huang, said the couple had decided to name their new baby Tianxi, which means gift sent from heaven. The elderly couple already have 2 grown children, a son and daughter, and several grandchildren. Their eldest grandchild turned 18 this year. The 2 children had objected to their parents having another baby. My daughter even said that if I gave birth to this little baby, she would sever all ties to us. What? Many older women are striving to have more children in China since its one-child policy was lifted in 2016, leading to a surge in demand for fertility treatments. Tian may be the oldest woman to give birth in the country. According to the state-run China Daily, the previous record was held by a woman who gave birth to a baby boy in 2016, the age of 64. In September, a 73-year-old woman in India gave birth to twin girls conceived through IVF. Wow. So, I had no idea because I was just reading. What did I Google? I was Googling, what happens at my age yesterday, and then some articles came up saying that, by 38, most women have fewer eggs. They don't have enough eggs to even have a baby or whatever. So nobody tells you that. So if you're thinking like, oh, I'm in my 20s or 30s, I'll just wait. No, you got to have a kid like as soon as possible if you want to do that. That's what I've learned. So this is almost a 20-minute video, and I hope you enjoyed our looking at the news. And I realize now there's lots of news. There's always news. New fire rages in area known for its celebrities and high-value homes. So there's going to be tons of news, always more news. And All right, stay tuned for tomorrow's news summary and comment below if you want more of this stuff. Okay, bye for now. Now, how do I stop recording?